Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, this has actually been a video idea that I've been sitting on for a while now. I wanted to make it the last video of 2023, so this is the 542nd video of 2023, and the next video will be up New Year's Day, will be for the 8th year in a row, the Wrestle Kingdom 18 preview. So the state of pro wrestling as we see it ending in 2023. I think right now is the best time to be a pro wrestling fan. Yeah, there's been eras, Attitude Era, late 90s, early 2000s, that had a different vibe to it. But right now, we have the ability as fans to access more pro wrestling than ever before. Back in the day, let's just use the Attitude Era, that's when I started watching. You had Monday Night Raw, you had Monday Night Nitro, you had WCW Saturday Night, you had later on SmackDown, you had WCW Pro, you had WCW, there's a couple other little like hour-long preview highlight shows, and then you could buy tapes and stuff, and you tape traded and all that stuff with your friends and stuff. But now in 2023, we have the ability to watch hundreds of pro wrestling companies around the world. January 2nd, Pro Wrestling Noah has a huge show. I'm going to watch it. January 4th, 1:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, Wrestle Kingdom 18 Live. I'm going to watch it because I can't. I don't have to wait 6 months for a tape to come and then spend, $15-20 on that and then trade it with somebody and try to watch it and all this. I have the ability to watch it anytime I want once it happens. If you look at the world of pro wrestling, we have, again, it's the world of pro wrestling, World Wrestling Entertainment, AEW. These companies go around the world and perform. You have New Japan Wrestling that comes to the United States. You have TNA that's making a resurgence that streams and that goes to Canada and Mexico and around. Here's the thing, though. We have these worldwide companies, but we also have the old, quote, territories. So back in the late 70s, or 60s and 70s, you had territories. So Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan, they would go into the Northeast Territory. Then they would stay a couple months. They would go to the Southeast Territory, like Jim Crockett, or Georgia Championship Wrestling, or go down to Texas, the NWA, or go this territory, etc. And have their feuds, have their show matches, do the thing, and then go to the next territory. They'll come back a year later. We kind of have that now, the territories. We have these national companies. We also have the smaller companies. In the Northeast, we have Beyond Wrestling. We have Blitzkrieg Pro. We have House of Glory. We have ICW No Holds Barred, which is a deathmatch company. We have Limitless Wrestling. We have Live Pro Wrestling. We have Northeast Wrestling. We have Wrestle Pro, Major League Wrestling. This is just a small portion of what's in the Northeast. Go to the Southeast. We have Action Wrestling, New South. AML, which is actually in North Carolina, in Winston-Salem. They have their annual show the weekend of Thanksgiving called WrestleCade. I actually watched it this year. Pretty good show. We have out of Florida World Wrestling Network. We have Florida Championship Wrestling used to be a thing. You have all the big companies. You look at the West Coast, we have Defy Wrestling, PCW Ultra, Prestige Wrestling, PWG, West Coast Pro, Future Stars of Wrestling, which is in Las Vegas. In the Midwest, we have AAW out of Chicago. We have Dreamwave out of Chicago, out of the Chicago area. Glory Pro out of St. Louis. We have Warrior Wrestling out of Chicagoland area. Freelance, Reality Wrestling out of Texas, which is Booker T's company. Black Label Pro, the Wrestling Revolver, which is out of Ohio, which is actually ran by Sami Callihan. Him and John Moxley makes a lot of appearances there. They had a show, Wrestling Revolver had a show in California that Ronda Rousey was at. And Ohio Valley Wrestling still thing. It's on Thriller TV, Plus, not only do we have these that we can stream, there's hundreds of other ones, If you look at the UK is one of the strongest wrestling territories there is. North Wrestling, Over the Top, OTT, Progress, Revolutionary Pro, ICW and Sing Championship Wrestling. World Series Wrestling out of Australia. You have a couple different Australia stuff will show up on Thriller TV. You want to stream wrestling in 2023? You can. Title Match Network. WrestleMix, which is actually free, has a lot of PCW Ultra and Defy on there. Defy used to have their own on-demand, but I think there's something going on there. But they're on WrestleMix right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling has had a new app. You're gonna watch Wrestle Kingdom live at 1:30 a.m. TNA Plus. TNA is relaunching in 2024. TNA Plus has a new app as well. You can get all their shows. Red Pro has their own app. High Spots TV has AEW, has some of the old PWG stuff. The vintage 2012 PWG stuff. You have IWTV, which has hundreds and hundreds of independent wrestling shows and companies on there. Ring of Honor has Honor Club. You can go back to 2003 and watch J. Mark Briscoe when they first broke in. You can watch all the Ring of Honor stuff today. You got Wrestle Universe, which has DDT, which has Pro Wrestling Noah, Toshi Pro Wrestling. Again, January 2nd, Pro Wrestling Noah show in English on Wrestle Universe. OTT, Over the Top Wrestling on Demand. You've got their entire library on there. Progress Wrestling, Chapter 1 through Chapter 163, I think it is. Everything is available there. You have Premier Streaming Network, which has House of Glory and Northwest Wrestling, Wrestle Pro, and a bunch of other stuff. Peacock obviously has WWE Network and has WXW on there. And then obviously Thriller TV. You can do the Fight Plus, the Thriller Plus, whatever it's called now. You don't have to get every one of those streaming services every month. I sure the hell don't. But what I do is I pick and choose. I might do 3 this month. I might do 3 next month. 3 different ones. And then a month after that, do 3 more. And then I rotate. Maybe I don't get OTT for like 4 or 5 months. Then I go back and watch all the shows. I don't get High Spots very often, but I do. I go back and watch all the AEW stuff. It's pretty good wrestling there. And then I'll catch the PWG Battle of Los Angeles and some PWG stuff. Progress the same way. I might get 4 or 5 episodes behind on chapters behind, but I go back and watch it. So right now in wrestling, we have the best ability to ever watch wrestling. We have 2 wrestling companies in AEW and WWE who obviously try to beat each other. We've always known that. We had the Wednesday Night Wars. Everybody was so stoked about that. Now, in the 5 years that AEW has been around, I watched every single match. I've watched every match of WWE in that time as well. I like pro wrestling because it's pro wrestling. I don't hate AEW because I like WWE and vice versa. You can like all of it. You don't have to necessarily go, well, Tony Khan can't book a show. Triple H is the greatest booker in the history of wrestling. No. I watch a show. What's this? WWE, for instance. The whole thing with the Bloodline. I actually love the Bloodline right now. I've loved it for a while now. The Cody returning. That's awesome. You know what? The prodigal son returns home. He gets hurt. He comes back from injury and started Hell in a Cell with Seth. That was just blah. He fought back. He won the Rumble. Goes to WrestleMania. That's how you finish your story, but you don't do it. Okay, I'm sorry, but you had the perfect tie-in to do it there. You have Punk return. Okay, 10 years away, he comes back. You know what? Over a while, you let bygones be bygones. I get it. Bret Hart returned, Ultimate Warrior returned. People do that. You have people that jump back and forth, WWE, AEW. Back in the day, you had multiple people going from WCW to WWF. I think right now is the best time to be a wrestling fan. You have more available wrestling. Is it the same level of storytelling that it was in the late 90s? No, it's not. But it's a different era. Some people watch wrestling just for the matches. Some people watch it for the storytelling. You're not ever going to get great 5-star matches, every single match, with great storytelling. You're not going to get it. You're going to have some great storytelling that has a great match, but then you're going to have the matches up here, but you're going to have crap down here. Just like with AEW, you're going to have those 5-star classics that, when the average person watches it, they're like, damn, that was good. Then you're going to have the people like, well, they should have done this, they should have done this, you should have done this, they should have done this. But yet, when WWE does the same exact thing, there's people like, oh, that was the greatest thing in the world, or vice versa. The social media and wrestling don't go together. One of the greatest moments in wrestling, the 1996 WCW Bash at the Beach. No one knew. It wasn't out on dirt sheets. No one was leaking this shit out. Eric Bischoff knew. Handful of people knew. That's it. And I love it as a fan, looking back and going, and even live. I watched that show live. I was glued to it. I was a WCW fan. I was a freaking Sting fan. I was a Randy Macho Man Savage fan. I was a Hogan fan until he turned. And who's the third guy? When Hogan came out and Bobby the Brain Heenan goes, Hogan's the third guy, and Shawnee, no, he's not. He wouldn't do that to WCW. And even Bischoff says recently in a thing I saw online, they didn't know. That was just them reacting as fans. Heenan always did stuff like that because he hated Hogan. So it's like, oh no, it's not. He's not. And then when he dropped that leg, it's like, oh my God, Brain was right for once. And then just just everything that came out of that. And then the whole thing about Sting is when they had the fake Sting and they getting too far back in the woods on that, but I was a Sting fan back then. But yeah, just the whole way of watching wrestling has changed. The whole ratings thing has changed as well. These people that are just so on about TV ratings, from my understanding, and if it changed, somebody in the market tell me, ratings are based on set-top boxes. Streaming doesn't count toward ratings that I know of. Certain do. I know the NFL does on Amazon, but I don't know if that's just a one-off or what. Because if you think about it, almost every TV provider, Dish Network or TV Spectrum, Xfinity, all that have their own TV app that you can watch it on. You have the cloud DVR that you record to that you can watch it on multiple devices. You have USA Network app. You have all these other apps out there that you can stream these shows on. I don't know, like YouTube TV, Hulu. I don't know if it counts. So when people look at ratings, people are getting way over geared up about ratings. Oh, ratings are down. Yeah, but you know what? Yes, AEW ratings are down over last year. I'll give you that. Here's how I look at AEW right now, 5 years in. 2019. We didn't start TV until October. So we had, from the time the announcement was made in 2019, we had 10 months before we did TV. We had 5 months before the first pay-per-view. People tuned in because it's new. People tuned into the Dynamite on Wednesday nights because guess what? We had NXT on Wednesday nights, which was announced after Dynamite. We had the Wednesday Night War. This is the Monday Night Wars of the new era. Oh my God, Wednesday Night Wars, this is cool. People tuned in just to see what would happen. I didn't. When whooped NXT's ass, because WWE said NXT is the third brand. When they little ass got whooped and they took their tail between their legs and jumped to Tuesday nights, oh, it's developmental. What? I thought it was the third brand. And so WWE themselves don't even know what to call NXT. It's developmental, it's the third brand. I think it's developmental. When you put the world of John Cena, The Undertaker, Paul Heyman, Asuka, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, all on NXT just to beat AEW, which they did. But it's developmental, so what do you care? It's like, I'm lost with that. The fact that they whooped in 48 of 52 weeks this year, and AEW beat Raw, and AEW beat SmackDown. I have no problem with, okay, that's best of Raw. I get it. Don't come back and say, well, yeah, but they beat SmackDown. That was because SmackDown was on FS1. But when AEW fans go, well, NXT only won because Cody Rhodes was there and Undertaker and all this. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's their brand. They can do what they want. Pick a lane here, peeps. Ratings are important, yes. I don't think ratings tell the full story. I know social media doesn't. Social media is a complete cancer right now. Based on this whole Kylie Ray, Chris Jericho thing that happened supposedly in 2019 that the parties involved aren't talking about. No one in the room is talking about it, but yet some rando YouTube guy brought it up, and now the world is just wanting Jericho canceled over it. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. None of my business. Now, I will say this. If, we'll go even generic in this. If a wrestler, male and or female, did something illegal to another wrestler, male and or female, the person that did it should be punished. Do I think they should be canceled before any evidence or before anybody else is talked about? No. If proven guilty in a court of law, great. If the reporting party says that wrestler X did X, Y, and Z, wrestler X, I didn't do X, Y, Z, I did ABC, or whatever the case is, whatever the story is, and there's either evidence or video or proof or witness that X, Y, Z actually happened, I agree, they should be punished. In the United States, we are innocent until proven guilty. Not guilty and innocent are two different things, I know. But we can't just jump and react and do things because a random person made a random statement. That's my opinion on it. That's all I'm going to say about it. But right now, the state of pro wrestling in 2023 is the best it's ever been. You can stream and watch more wrestling than ever. Showcase of Independence will start on Robert Sports Show. And for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. Showcase of the Independence is going to be every day in January 1st through 31st. I'm going to profile a different independent wrestling company. So I broke it down like this. The Big Four. WWE. Big Four. Big Elephant in the Room. AEW. Big Elephant in the Room. New Japan Pro Wrestling and TNA. Those are the Big Four. Everything else considered independent company. NWA, AEW, GCW. I'm going to profile each and every day one of those companies, their best matches of 2023, the 23 top matches. I'm going to do on the anniversary of the passing of Jay Briscoe, I'm going to rank the tag team matches of 2023. And then on his birthday, which would have been his 40th birthday, I'm going to rank the tag teams of 2023 in memory of the Briscoes, one of the greatest tag teams ever. So all that is possible because of streaming. All that is possible because the way pro wrestling is in 2023. Do you want to review videos like I had last year, maybe even more independent stuff? Still do AEW, still do WWE. You know what? I have no problem expressing my opinion, but again, it's my opinion. Pro wrestling is 90% opinion, 10% fact. Because my opinion differs from you. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Doesn't mean you're right. It's different of opinion. Our Pulse family, we have difference of opinion all the time. But you know what? Here's what we do. This is my opinion. This is this person's opinion. This is this person's opinion. If they don't sync up, we say why we think that. Why our opinion's that. And then we either talk about it more and see if we can come to a better understanding of each other, or we just say, you know what, that's one of those, we agree to disagree, we move on to something we agree about. That's how it should be. Anyway, State of Pro Wrestling 2023, last video of the year, video 542, can't wait till 2024, bigger and better year. Please subscribe to the channel, follow me on X at Rob Sports Show. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports content.